This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know that I know. Nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, I know that I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the S4Y VLOGCAST. This is episode 39. As you can see, I'm on the road this week. Nobody's in studio. I am in Texas, getting ready for a big event at Champions Club in Houston. Christian is still in his food truck basement, as best I can tell. You're doing all the prep work down there? So let's go.
Hello, everyone. This is not a food truck, but it is a business. I can't disclose the business, but we're here. It's dude, you're getting pretty good at these intros, man. It's like, how many have you done so far? Like 10?
Maybe. I didn't plan on doing today's. I feel like I'm only supposed to do it when I'm in studio, and Andre hit me with it going to Berkey right as it was about to go, so I just kind of went with it, you know.
I like the intro. I was like watching the introduction of I was like, man, we have a really nice intro. Like, no one has a nice, I don't know what it is I'm showing you on my screen. Like when, like there's like a part of it where like I'm showing you something on like my phone. Someone probably fucking snapshotted that and zoomed in and probably saw something they shouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. Welcome back. We're live again. Man, there's something about the poker aura right now. There's something like WSOP is like looming. It's like a lot of tournaments are getting big. The cash games are getting big. Tom Dwan's playing on TV. I don't know what's going on, man. It's like, I don't know.
Everyone's rich.
Everyone is rich. Everyone is rich. I've done okay too, I guess. All right. So you went to Florida. How was that? Tell the people a little bit about that. We saw that WPT broke a record. That's good to see. We kind of expected it, right? It was like, not expected a record breaker, but we expected a big field. People were like, oh, it's going to be big. America is fiending for poker. And we saw it. It was the largest WPT live field of all time. And they got to be happy, right? Those execs at the Hard Rock, they got to be happy. Those rooms were $400 a night. And it was sold out. So, and that was if you booked early. It was $586 a night if you booked at the last minute. Plus resort fee, plus, you got to get a margarita while you're in there. And, if you bust out early, you got to try to get it back at the blackjack table. So those execs, they're happy with what happened. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to bring the WPT back.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be big. I thought it was going to be $5 million in the prize pool, to be honest. I figured, getting somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 to 1,500 seemed reasonable. They blew it out of the water. It was a circus. I busted 1B right after dinner. Was able to re-register. I waited in line maybe 15 minutes, and then I had a 3-hour wait before I could get back into the event. So I re-registered when blinds were 400, 800. I got back in when blinds were 1K, 2K with 20 minutes left to play in the day and a 40K starting stack. So it was a high value event. Everybody was firing. They did the best they could with the resources they had. I feel like they were maybe a little bit ill prepared for the mass turnout. But it's difficult to predict something like this. I think we all knew it was going to be a huge ordeal. I just don't think anybody could have imagined that they were going to get 1,000+ runners on the first day and nearly 1,000 runners on the second day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't predict a record-breaking field, right? If you know it's going to be big, you hope that you're going to break your guarantee, but you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to have the biggest field of all time, just like walk into the doors, right? Like you're never predicting that. If they did, those room rates would have been $1,000.
Sure.
They wouldn't have cut themselves a little short. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the final table, bro. I know his name now,
Mhm.
but
Teach.
I'm gonna be candid. I didn't know who the dude, the gentleman in the yellow was, but I knew who he was. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, for example, I don't know his name, but I've seen this guy in every tournament, and he always runs deep, and I'm like, who is this guy? Right? I'm like, this guy's been playing. He has been playing for like 40 years. Like, this guy's just. How many stories is it? This guy's like the Doyle Brunson of tournaments, and like I just see him everywhere. He has all the stories. Like, I know he has like one specific friend he goes everywhere with. Like, see, like I know a little bit about this guy. Like, I've seen him around so many times that he only talks to one person, and I'm like, what's up with this? Like, who is this? Like, who is this guy? But now you're telling me
Yeah.
his name's Teach. Let me, before we get into that, like, let's walk by the 6 players. So, sixth place is guaranteed $261,700, with first place looking like $1.26 million, as well as, your name on the WPT Cup. There's a lot of freaking names on that cup right now. Do they keep growing the cup? Like, what happens to that cup? Let's look at this cup right now.
Yeah, it's just like the Stanley Cup. They keep adding layers.
Man, this thing's gonna be huge. For those of you listening on Spotify or something like that, like we're looking at the WPT Players Championship Cup. It's just massive, right? It's just like a huge thing. Like they should let you take that home. I think I was playing in a game. Do they give you like one to take home? Like what is
Yeah.
that? Because
You
I
have a
was
small
playing,
version
I
of
remember
it.
I was playing back in the day in Bobby Aboody's game in Jersey, and he had his thing. He had his championship cup in the game. I personally wouldn't run a game and have my championship cup in it because I don't want people to think I'm a pro champion or something like that. But he had it, and I don't know how much he was raking, but it was pretty good. Anyway, okay, so the players. You're gonna have to excuse me for the first one. It's Preston Sutton. I think he's American, but I'm not sure. He's going to be in seat 1 with 78 big blinds. Seat 2 is Ken Aldridge with 27 big blinds. I believe that is Teach.
Yep.
Seat 3 is Steven Snyder with 40 bigs. Viet Vo with 10 bigs. Good luck, fam. Albert Calderon with 13 bigs. They're fighting for the page up right there. Those 2 seats, they're going to be like, yo, you bust. No, you bust. Then Sonny Franco with 80 bigs. So the best seat is definitely seat 1. He has position. He has like tied for chip lead, and he has position on seat number 6.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all of them. That seems pretty fun. Damn, 1 million, 1.2 million for the win.
I thought they could have put more up top, to be honest.
Tell me
Not
about
that 1.2 million is anything to sneeze at, but $7 million prize pool is like we could easily see 1.5 there and a little bit less of a flat structure. I like it this way. I think they should flatten 1 through, let's say, 27.
I'll tell you the payout structure. 1.2 million, 900,000, 600,000, 440, 325, 260.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that is the gap between first and second to third being so similar. I think it should be a little bit flatter in those spots, but nitpicking really.
Yeah, they're each like 4K or around.
Plus, no, about 300K, but plus WPT allows for chops, so that kind of like eases a lot of the burden.
So what do you think they did right? Like was it right place, right time? Is it they did something right? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a first to market type thing, right? Like nobody's ran much of a major. Like Florida was kind of the first to test in January, I guess, when they ran a 1 mil guarantee that tripled the prize pool, got 3 million in it, massive. That obviously demonstrated demand. Vegas then kind of piggybacked off of that. Venetian ran a 5K WPT, and the Wynn ran a 10K high roller as well as a 3,500 main. Both of those had pretty big fields, not record breaking like this. People just don't travel to Vegas for the same reasons, I don't think. Florida is just such an easy stop as far as like getting all the major markets involved. you know, it's easy to go to the beach in April, I guess. And this event's always big. They always do incredibly well. But, you know, at a time where there's nothing else competing against it, there's no Monte Carlo, there's no EPT, there's no West Coast event that will pull people away or anything like that. It's literally just centrally focused on the WPT in Florida. It's the one event, and it blew it out of the water. I wish that moving forward we saw more of this coordination. I know it's a byproduct of the pandemic right now, but it's better. It really is best for everybody, right? Like, it's easier for them to staff because there are just a plethora of dealers available. There are no mid majors going on. There are no WSOPs competing against it or anything of that nature, right? It's best for the players because now a lot of those people that would be grinding the mid majors feel a little bit more inclined to take shots, to play saddies, to do whatever, and this becomes a focal point of the entire poker community, right? We can all turn our attention to one singular event rather than having a bunch of shiny objects distracting us all over the place where now nothing matters. The winner of this event is going to be, you know, it's going to be a big deal to them. And it's going to be a big deal to the community. The 25K crushed, biggest 25K in Florida history, 140 people, I believe. Almost a million first there. Very soft field. The cream rose. We saw a lot of big names at the final table. I know Brock Wilson got fourth. I saw that Sean Perry chopped it with Chad Esledge. Yeah. And we also, so, you know, these are all names.
Yeah.
These are all live pros that we're familiar with.
Yeah. There was some big names at the final table, for sure. But I am excited to see what happens moving forward, right? Like, you are now in Texas, and you are expecting to run a tournament yourself. That you are I guess you would say a sponsored pro in the tournament, a featured player in the tournament.
Oh, a guest host.
A guest host in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know what to call
it. And that tournament, I believe, is in the 1,300 range.
Yeah.
With $1 million guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken.
It reminds me of like when Choctaw first popped off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just had like these random 1K, 3K events that were just advertised really heavily. I remember Maria Ho was like a big sponsor for Choctaw.
Yeah.
A few others. And they just blew prize pools out of the water. You know, they just took that Dallas market, they took that Texas market, the Oklahoma market, they just all culminated and would just like pop off for 3 to 5 million prize pools.
Right, yeah. Choctaw was a big stop. It was a big stop for a lot of players that were like trying to make it at the time. It was one of the best stops for them at the time. And, you know, they would get there early, play some of the cash games there too, because, you know, they were supposedly pretty good, pretty big, you know.
I have a funny story for this. I've only been to Choctaw one time. It was in 2012, right after I had gone broke. So I went broke in like April of 2012. And I guess this would have been like September, maybe. I had just been, you know, literally accruing debt and living like month to month, just coaching people, playing a little bit of 2-5 with my coaching winnings anytime I could, whatever the case may be. And my friend Berto was like, yo, there's this event in Oklahoma. It's too big to miss. I'm going to put you in it. I'm like, okay, man, sounds good. At the time I had like 4K to my name, maybe less. And he's like, all right, the money's in your account. Book a flight, book a hotel, and get out there. So I go to book a hotel, whatever. There's nothing in the area. Everything's just sold out because this is 2012 and it's like the first time they ever ran an event. It's just massive. So I have to stay in Denton, Texas, which is like,
oh my God.
It's literally.
It just sounds like a place where it has nothing.
Bro, it's a pit stop. I mean, that's the best way to describe it, right? So I fly into Dallas. I rent a car. I drive from Dallas Airport to Denton, Texas, which is like 30 miles maybe. And then from Denton, it's like another 30 miles to Choctaw. So I'm like holed up in this like Holiday Inn, just like self-loathing, saying like, you've done this to yourself. You deserve this. No fancy 5-star hotels for you anymore. Like, you're going to be staying in the roadside inn. And I'm just like there ready to grind, you know? And I have my net worth on me at the time. So I go the first day, I play the main event, I lose in like some absurd fashion to like 8-4 suited in, I don't know, probably a 3-bet pot, and I'm out. And I have one more bullet plus $1,000 for a side event. There's like a 1K turbo that's supposed to get huge.
Yeah.
But I have my 4K, and I'm good the first day. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna prep. Second day I go, same thing. Lose my bullet some absurd way, whatever. Later in the day this time, go home, rinse, repeat. Come back for the 1K turbo, play it, and I'm like out immediately. Like literally first card or first hand off the deck, I'm just out. And I'm just like so bummed. And I walk past the poker room and it's just flooded with people. I mean, flooded. There's just like 37-2-5 games.
Yeah.
Like 10-5, 10. So I do the responsible thing. I'm like, I'm going to grind out 2-5 with this 4K. And I'm going to like turn this trip into a net win. And I look and the list is like 200 deep. And as I'm about to put my name on it, they call it a new 1025.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah. Like let's fucking go, baby. Let's do it. So I go and sit with Case Money because YOLO. And it's funny because nobody knew I was broke. And like, you know, at this point I'd been playing for 10 years. I'm pretty well known traveling the circuit and whatnot. And a lot of the guys in like the 10-20 sphere are guys that I play with at all the other stops, like Borgata, whatever. So I recognize like 3 or 4 faces. The rest of them are literally just cowboys looking to give it away or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, let's, you know, they don't need to know I'm broke. I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to play good and everything. Call a 3-bet with Jack 10 suited. We catch the Queen 9-8 board.
Oh.
We get in a raise on the flop. We're all in on the turn. I get snapped off by King Queen. And
At 0%.
No. The turn was a king. So it's like Queen 9-8 king. We get it all in, and he just rivers the house. And I just got to walk. So I'm just like tucking my tail, and like I didn't have it in me to tell Berto that I just lost all of my money too.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. I just like couldn't possibly bring myself to tell him. I didn't tell him until the following summer after I had won $500,000.
Yeah, of course.
In the World Series.
Like, hey, by the way, last time I went.
I'm like, yeah, remember that nice, generous opportunity you gave me when you sent me to fucking Denton, Texas to humble my ass and I had to go play these tournaments, yada, yada, on a free roll? He goes, yeah. I took my last 4K and I dusted it off in 1025 and I was broke for the next 6 months. Super
degen stories. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Bro, there's a lot of shit that happens like that. Like sometimes, like you're one of our good friends. Well, you know, there was a VIP that came into Vegas named Papa, and like the games were running crazy. And I remember you were in a game with one of our friends, and one of our friends busted, and you were like ready to like help him out with a loan, and he just like left one of the best games ever, right? Like,
I couldn't help it. I had all my money on the table.
Right, but you were surprised that he didn't even ask you, right? There was like, you were surprised. You're like, oh, why didn't he even ask me for a loan or whatever? And then like, bro, like 3 years later, like we're having like a random conversation. And he's like, oh yeah, what you guys didn't know is that I was dead broke after that. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now because that was a really good game that everybody was trying to get in.
I played, in that game we were playing 25-50. And the regs were just like playing way over that. Like they're 5'10" guys that are just playing way too big. And Papa is this amazing human who plays 100% VPIP no matter what.
Right.
And the game was actually 10-25.
Sorry to cut you off. He was playing like big baccarat, not normal baccarat, like huge baccarat for millions. Like
I went to PCA after this game, and one of the guys I was sitting with in the 25K asked me about Papa and the game, and apparently like he's a regular in Macau, and he was just like kind of a nobody who ran it up in baccarat, bought a sports car, and flew to Vegas.
Kind of a legend.
But yeah, like he was VPipping like 100%. We were actually playing 10-25, but we were playing crazy deep. Papa and I were like 60K effective, and I put the 50 on, and this is how scared the regs were. I put the 50 on. I had the Jesus seat. Papa was immediately to my right. I put the 50 on under the gun, and it folded the Papa.
Wow.
He was like VPipping 100. So he limps. He limps, and I check back 6-4, and it comes like queen 5-3. He checks. I bet he like check raises me huge to like 800, but like we're 60K deep, so like you're just never folding an open ender. I call. Turn is the glorious deuce.
Wow.
And he like bombs. I call, and the river's a brick, and he bets like I don't know, like 10 into 10 or something like that. And I just rip for like 45 or 50 more.
Right.
And he just like beats me in with what was like one pair.
Wow.
He just like had a bear queen. I played like 120K pot in a limp pot.
There were some wild stories. There's a famous video that like I've been trying to find for like the last 2 years or whatever, with one of the, I don't want to say who it is because it's like one of the OGs of Vegas, like super OG. Like he's in every 10-20 game and fucking Bellagio every day. You've known him for years. Like he always has a nice shorty on his arm. He's Asian, but anyway,
maybe he gets it in with ace-10 suited versus kings.
I don't know exactly what happened, but like he was begging. He had the best hand on the turn, and he was begging to run it twice with Papa. He's like, I
heard this.
Like twice.
I've seen the video actually.
Yeah. And Papa doesn't
speak in English.
Yeah, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, let's go, right? And then he's like, 2 cards. He's like trying to tell him like the next 2 cards, and try explaining the next 2 cards in a split pot like to Papa is not gonna happen. So Papa's like, let's go, and Papa just drills it, and Papa's like, yes, and it's just like this guy's just devastated because obviously this pot is like, you're not gonna recover from this for the next 6 months, no matter what game you're in. This is like a huge pot, and it's like, I need that video, man. If anybody out there has this video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I feel like Oaken sent it to us to begin with.
Okay. If Oaken has it, Oaken, I'll give you 250. If it's not Oaken, I'll give you 500. Just because Oaken knows us, like he shouldn't be charging us for this video. But
yeah, the pain is real.
Dude, I need that video. It's so good. But okay. So you're going to be playing some live streams. I heard rumor is 2550. Rumor is PokerGo is involved in some way. Talk to me about that. Like, what do you expect? Like, do you expect people just lining up to play against the great Matt Berkey? Like, what's going on?
So yeah, PokerGo is doing all their streams. I think you can actually catch day 1B right now on their YouTube channel. Saturday, I'll be playing 2550. I think Maury is also going to be in the game, as well as Dewey Tomko. Not sure like what the local scene looks like. I did have somebody reach out today. You remember the kid that we played with the last time we went to Palm Social? I think his name was Eddie. He was just like a straight grinder.
And he has like a sports car.
No, that's E.
Okay.
This was like you gave this kid a lot of shit.
Oh, I know. He's a fucking.
Yeah.
Of course, I gave him shit.
Yeah.
You can't win raise in a game with 3 VIPs from under the gun. Like, come on, man. All right.
Yeah.
Kid, because he took the shit. He took the needles really well, and I was going pretty hard at him, and I probably shouldn't have gone that hard, but like, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, he hit me up, and
he brought his own food to the game, and he's mid-raised.
There's nothing wrong with that. I've been there before, man.
Yeah, but do you under the gun?
No, obviously I have 5x. But he hit me up. He thinks that like we'll be able to get like 1025, 2550 every day. He actually asked if like you and Landon were coming, but I told him that you guys are too big for travel. This isn't your shtick anymore.
What day is the game? I kind of want to stack this kid.
Probably tomorrow through Saturday. Maybe tomorrow through Sunday.
It's not out.
But yeah, it'll be at Champions Club. The tournament itself is a 1,300, 1 million guarantee. I think it's going to go like way, way over. It has 5 starting days. Today was 1B. Saturday is 1E, I think. $1,300 buy-in.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it'll do well. I think it'll be like 2 or 3 million in the prize pool, to be quite honest.
Wow. So this is Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah. Champions. I think it's Champions Poker Club. It might be Champions Social. I'm not really sure. But
like if you live in the area, you know what it's called. It's called.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Like you know what it is. It's like if you lived in New York, it's called PlayStation. That's what it's called. Like you just you don't go by the legal name. Like it's just like my name is Chen. That's Berk. Like that's it. You just move on with life.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so there was a big announcement this week from S4Y. It was regarding, actually, it's been a little while now. Maybe it's been more than a week. It's regarding homeschool. So there was a lot of chatter. There were people like, oh, what's up with this graphic? This guy's shoes is like, what are these shoes? I know I was saying that. Like, those are like the Yeezys or whatever. But anyway, so it's a 5-week program. Berkey starts it off, and I bring it home. In the middle, we have the new kids on the block. Landon, Nick Marchington. You know you're big when you go by one name, like Landon. Like you've already escalated to a certain level of notoriety, right? It's like Ivy, Landon, Durr, right? That's kind of a big deal, you know? Madonna.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, it's 5-week program. Tell the people the price. Tell the people if you're a returning person, how much we're gonna give you off, things like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 5 weeks, 3 days per week, somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours per session. So you're looking at, roughly 30 hours worth of content. It's $14.95 for first timers. Any returning attendees, we're giving it to them for $500. For all returning attendees, you guys will get an email sometime this week. We're just working on the automated process right now. So don't fret if you haven't gotten it yet. I've been getting a lot of messages like, yo, I'm trying to sign up. Where's my bonus code? It's like, it's coming. Relax. So yeah, all of that should be sent out within the next couple of days. For anybody interested and wants more information, just head to s4y.io. There's a lot of details there. You can also check out, I put a tweet up with the actual syllabus, which will also be emailed to anybody who's on our email list. So it'll break down basically what the 15 classes are, who's leading each one, who's leading each week, etc. But the overall, I guess the overview of everything is just that it's going to start very macro with me. We're going to take a zoomed out approach of strategy construction week 1. Week 2 is going to be a lot of data analysis with Hunt, looking at like flop aggregate reports, things of that nature. Week 3 will be a lot of practical implementation with Nick Marchington. Week 4 will be Landon digging through some like more specific spots, looking at very common formations, single raise pots versus big blind, single raise pots out of position, 3-bet pots in and out of position, things of that nature. And then week 5 will be Christian kind of giving you the exploitative layer to everything, the context of how all of this applies to the environments that you're currently playing in, particularly live. So yeah, I think there's a ton of value there. I think that it's going to be a pretty in-depth course. I'm pretty excited to get it going, and I like the way that we're able to kind of tackle it as a team. Everybody learns a little differently, so you kind of get a lot of variations on comparable concepts. Some of us will go a little bit deeper than others, and some of us will go a little bit more macro, some of us will go a little bit more micro. So I think that we kind of hit all the bullet points necessary.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't know about that discount, man, because like, think about it. If I go back to university right now, they're not going to tell me like, oh, you've been here before, you're fine, don't worry. The credits are like, they're like a third of the price. But like, nah, I guess, we're a very giving company in these trying times. So, get a little give and take. And I'm obviously joking. I do appreciate people being loyal to us and giving us another chance at this stuff and, being happy about it, So it's super cool that people return. So, talking about a little bit of returning, Live at the Bike is back. One of the shows that made you famous back, Berkey. Actually, is the show that made me a more known person in poker. Right. I had a famous hand once upon a time where I just like check raise the turn with ace queen and stuff like that. It's crazy. So it is back. We did see a pretty wild hand, as you can see it on the board right now, where John, who is a high stakes reg in the game, flops quads, and Garrett goes running top boat, and it goes like Garrett bets pot on the river and faces a huge raise, tanks for maybe like 3 seconds, calls, and as you see, he's taking chips out of the backpack. But the Live of the Bike is back, man. It's good to see them back. It is a little bit different right now because Ryan Feldman is no longer involved with Live of the Bike. There was a little bit of a thing going on, right? Like we remember that on Twitter earlier this year. And he has moved to Hustler, which is also in LA, and they're going to have their own streams. And also, we are going to see, what we are seeing is consistent poker after dark action now, right? It's kind of like what you were saying a couple pods ago, that poker after dark is going to be consistent throughout the year, right? And high stakes poker will be their exclusive. So we have 3 consistent streams that people are getting. Sorry, 2 streams that people are very used to. One of them is not a stream, Poker of Dark, but it's a known broadcast. And the Hustler, which we're curious to see what Ryan brings about with his new position. And then we have like a bunch of other like little things going on. We like every now and then I see like on my Twitter feed, we see like some streams from Texas with some nice numbers. Maybe we see a couple like, other streams from other places, Best Bet, etc. And the question is, what is the state of cash game streams, right? Because at some point I felt like it was an overload. People were like, oh, maybe we need some edited stuff. And then Poker After Dark decided to go that route. Live at the Bike, I don't think we'll ever go that route. It's just like kind of like this is their game. Like they're pretty raw. And my phone's always buzzing, man. 24 hours a day. It's like, what are you guys thinking? You guys gonna bring back some cash game streams? Some Poker Out Loud is gonna be streamed? Like, what are you guys thinking over there? I remember Berkey made a big fold versus Justin Young. Like, what's up with that fold? And so, what are we doing? Are we bringing back the streams? Like, I don't know. We might have to start the Patreon for the streams.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have the means to do it. It's really just a matter of like if we can get viable lineups together consistently, and then also, is the juice worth the squeeze for us, right? Like, is it worth us getting involved in that market, I guess, so to speak?
How do these shows make money? That is
they don't. That's the thing, they don't.
Then I'm not a big fan. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, we have something at least to be marketing, right? But like the way the Texas card houses make money through their live stream is by increasing foot traffic,
right?
Which is very important to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like exposure. Like this is a place that you can play. The stream gives them a little bit of credibility, right? Mm-hmm. Which is needed because they're it's not like they don't have the name recognition of a Bellagio, right?
Right.
Or like a massive building like the Bike. Whereas like you kind of feel like it's an established because it's just like a huge freaking skyscraper or whatever. So yeah, some credibility. In terms of for us, it's interesting because it's like, okay, like what's in it? What's in it for us? Like it's like maybe we play, people like the way we play. Maybe we do some interviews about some hands that we played, that people might be interested in and like our thought process, and then like maybe they sign up for S4Y and things like that.
I mean, it's content, right? Like it's a lot of content that we get to produce. The problem is it's just very expensive.
Talk to people about the numbers, right? Because people always want to know about numbers, man. People always in my business, like talking about like how much this shit costs. Why don't you guys run a game every day? It's like, bro, like we can't just release Poker Out Loud every day. Like it doesn't work like that. Like there's people behind the scenes that need a check, and I just, crypto's doing good, but like, chill. Like,
Yeah, I mean, to run a single day live stream for us is probably, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10K, and that's difficult to recoup just through marketing funnels, especially if we're doing it multiple days a week. To run a single episode or to create a single episode of Poker Out Loud, I think the budget I think when we film Poker Out Loud, the filming budget is like 12K for 2 days. And then each video is like $800 to edit.
Right. So
give or take.
Yeah.
Call it 1,000. So it's like 25K for a season of Poker Out Loud. So for 12 eps, we're paying like 2K per ep.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, like that stuff adds up, especially because like Poker Out Loud is something that we just run all year long, right? So we are going to have 52 or give or take. We'll have like 50
like,
weeks.
we also have to pay the the players. Like we're
Right.
one of the few people that actually pay the players because they are helping us create this content, right? So yeah, call it like a 15K 15K for per Poker Out Loud. Like, listen, you guys want to see Poker Out Loud? I'll be there, man. I'll take seat number 3, but we're gonna need this Patreon going. Like, we're gonna need you want to see Berkey, Landon, you want to see all these people in the mix. A lot of people were talking about, oh yeah, like, this was pretty fly. Like, we had all these vloggers and people are holding top 2 like crazy. And all right, man, fire it up. Fire it up to Patreon.
I mean, we don't need a Patreon. We just need people to subscribe to the site, which they've actually been doing. I mean, I can't be more thankful for how well this first month went. I'm actually like very astonished and a little bit humbled at the support that we received after increasing our price back to normal.
Yeah, it was really nice. Like most of the people,
very few
retention rate
cancellations.
was really nice. Like it was like pretty incredible. Obviously, people are, and the support is just like really really nice to see. And it's kind of one of the things that I told you like maybe like a long time ago. Where it was like, hey man, like we'll just keep churning, and one of these days like things will go well,
Yeah.
And here we are, Bitcoin at over 50,000. Berkey's a sponsored pro, and we have a podcast. He blurs out the people in the back. All the rich people in the back. I think I saw a little bit of Mark Zuckerberg or some shit in the back. Like, I don't know. You gotta blur them out. You can't be on this podcast. Okay, so we're kind of like Nostradamus of poker right now. We were like, oh, who's going to launch the next 10K tournament? Because it feels like it's coming. And you were like, oh, it's coming for sure. And then we were trying to locate which was the best one, right? And the only part that we got wrong is that we thought that it wasn't going to be in Vegas. We're like, It's not going to be Vegas because it's like, it's crowded, right? But then the Wynn said, no, F all that. We're going to run a 10K buy-in, 10 million guarantee, and we're going to go for it. We're going to go for the throne. We're going to call it the Wynn Millions. And the tournament series is going to be between May 27th and July 13th. And this is a big deal. Like, it's a huge deal, right? Like, we kind of were predicting that the market was asking for something like this.
Their timing is incredible.
And they just said, let's go, right?
So I said it wouldn't be Vegas because I didn't think that there would be a great time for it. But doing it 3 days before the online WSOP bracelet events is genius.
Yeah.
I think that like it's just going to crush. I do have concerns about where they're going to have everybody. I think people forget about that final day in a multi-flight event, right?
Yes.
Like when the value's there, when they only have like 5 million in the prize pool after the first 4 days of registration, you need 500 players that last day, and you're probably going to get them.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it. I think they're going to get the guarantee, man. I think that it's a big guarantee. 10K feels like, listen, man, I'm going to be buying action because if you put a 10 million guarantee up, there's probably a couple online regs that are pretty good that are playing $50 tournaments that might do okay in this tournament. Like there's a couple regs that play 109s on ACR that have nice graphs that are not cheating.
I mean, we know that this is viable, right? The 5 diamond gets close to 10 million in the prize pool.
Yeah, but it has name recognition, right? It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Like there's a brand new tournament. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna play this one. 10Ks are gonna bring me out.
Wow. I was just talking to Chance about how it's unfortunate that you retired from tournament play.
Yeah, well, Chance has done okay with my cash game action lifetime. I think he'll be okay, motherfucker. But yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play with 10K. Um, yeah. Sometimes I feel like a fish out of water, man. It's like what is this 30 big blind? I want
It's
to play it.
hard.
It's hard to win, man. It's hard to win. I saw a tweet from Landon saying it's hard to win. What a guy. What a guy. He just won a tournament. He's like, oh, I finished 13th. It's so hard. Poker's so hard. I'm like, what? Like,
I mean, he got it in pretty clean. The old nines versus 9-7.
I saw another tournament, another one where he like got it in like tens versus like fives or something, and he just like lost also like.
Oh yeah, the 25K, that was brutal.
Who was it against?
He's a Bergata reg. His name's Tony. He won a WPT, I think. I can't think of his last name.
Not Tony Gregg.
No, not Tony Gregg.
Okay. So we expect big things from that.
I think that series will be huge. Yeah. I'm trying to skip most of it though.
There's also there's actually some 10Ks running. They're going to be running at Venetian. So I saw the Venetian deep stack series. It's like a huge like month-long thing starting like next week, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And they have like 10Ks in the mix. They have 5Ks in the mix.
I don't think those will do well.
I don't think so either because they're not promoted. Like it's like
yeah, it's a bad time. I like just trying to target the local Vegas economy isn't good enough. You need people to travel for this shit, and nobody's traveling for Deep Stack's Venetian event that plays those stakes.
Right. So you're just gonna see, the regs, right? You're gonna see Foxen, you're gonna see Ollie, you're going to see like Sean Perry.
It'll get 100 people.
Look, Sean Perry's having a freaking sick like the last 2 months, man.
Yeah, he's on a heater.
Like what the hell? He had aces versus JRB and just went like crazy on high stakes poker, won all that money. Then he just like went and won all like the Aria high rollers. Now he's playing all their high rollers. Like, okay.
He won aces versus aces to give you an idea of how he's doing.
Oh, that's a good life. That's a good life. Shout out to Kerry Katz, the ultimate aces versus aces winner of all time.
That's true.
What a life. Okay. Talking about Poker Out Loud. For those of you that have never watched an episode, have no idea what the hell we're talking about. What's Poker Out Loud? Like, what is that? What does that even mean? Like, Poker Out Loud. Poker's supposed to be quiet. What are you talking about? I'm gonna play a little clip, show you guys a little bit of what we're talking about, and give you guys a little bit of inside scoop.
Once live does reopen, I think we may see a larger gap than we have ever seen in the past between pros and amateurs. And we have 5 people in a lineup who regularly play 50, 100, or larger.
I think this is one of the only spots in poker you can profitably cold call some 3-bets.
Yeah, this is pretty new. I haven't really seen Jeremiah do this, and we've played a lot together.
Does Landon ever put in money as a bluff?
No.
Okay, got it, thank you.
We're gonna get to see them have their feet put to the fire, right? And we don't necessarily know or can't anticipate how you react when you don't have an answer.
Again, we're in a spot where we are quite high up, but it's also super weird for Jeremiah to have a bluff here.
I like how Landon throws his money into the pot. Like, he thinks that I have such the utmost respect to him that I'm not gonna raise his ass.
And he thinks I'm a fucking psychopath. Like, this is a very clear jam versus anyone, and especially versus Matt.
Oh, I must be winning.
Okay, so that is Poker Out Loud, and most of you have seen this part already, but I do want to talk about the sister product of Poker Out Loud, which I think is one of the more interesting and exciting things for me this round, and what I've been like keeping my eye on the most, which is On Second Thought. That is where the players, we take the thoughts of the players, marry it with the solver outputs, and are able to kind of like take their thoughts and node lock some of the features on the solver to give us what the solver would do in that situation. And we have showcased that a little bit, but Berkey, tell people a little bit about On Second Thought, which I know you're super excited about this time.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets better each time we do it. Production's getting a little bit more used to, I guess, doing or creating the template, so to speak. I mean, it's kind of frustrating because spoiler alert, but the first half of this season of Poker Out Loud, I just mashed. A lot of it was just like me running pretty good. So unfortunately, like when we do these reviews of On Second Thought, it's largely hands that I'm involved in.
Mm-hmm.
But from that perspective, I'm really enjoying it too because I'm basically doing the hosting gig. I'm like scripting, the review sessions and stuff like that, and Hunt and I are collaborating together to go through like all of the solver material. And man, yeah, it's just getting like really good. Like this episode that just launched today on the site is from episode number 2, I believe, of Poker Out Loud this season. It's a single raise pot for where I defend Jack 10 out of the big blind versus Chris Konvalinka's Ace Deuce of Hearts, and things go a little haywire pretty quickly. So I think it's really a great learning tool in being able to go back through and see where our real-time strategy is good and see where it's flawed, but also see like how we can correct for those flaws. So whenever you go back through and hear my analysis during On Second Thought, you'll see that like both Chris and myself made mistakes, but number one, it was very clear where the mistakes came from. So for instance, I chose to check raise Jack 10 on 8-5-3, I believe. Yeah, that was the texture, 8-5-3 rainbow. And at 200 big blinds, that's just not a thing. It's just a pure fold. But at 100 big blinds, Jack 10 does a reasonable amount of raising, like a non-zero amount of raising. It's somewhere between like 15 and 20%. Jack 10 actually does some raising. So having studied this spot at 100 blinds, I anticipated certain things from Chris that aren't true at 200 blinds, and I reacted in a certain way that isn't correct at 200 big blinds. And the same thing for Chris. Like as he's navigating each node, he's trying to basically problem solve in real time. And though he makes some errors along the way, he also corrects those errors just through very logical, deductive reasoning and utilizing what he understands about game theory principles and things of that nature. So it's kind of cool to see both players misstep a little bit, but each ultimately arrive at pretty reasonable decisions where EV isn't lost all that much.
So when do these On Second Thoughts come out?
Every 4th Monday. So we do 3 episodes of Poker Out Loud and then an episode of On Second Thought. So for every season of Poker Out Loud, we'll have 4 episodes of On Second Thought.
Man, I don't know. We're gonna have to have a group meeting about this price because it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good to me.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with it.
I would pay $50. That's all I'm saying. I would pay.
As long as we got you, then we got everybody.
That's how you know you have a stamp, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've been very picky lately about who I listen to, and I've been listening to you on this On Second. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So, one last thing. Oh, there he is. Getting little kudos from Fader Halts. If you guys are all listening on Spotify, Fader Halts is there giving kudos to Matt Berkey on Second Thought. As you see on Second Thought, little solver coming around on the screen. All right, well, let's talk about high stakes duel. Our final topic before we wrap up. Round 2 is set to begin next week. By the time our next vlogcast comes up, it's very likely the two have played. It is Daniel Negreanu versus Phil Hellmuth. The first round had a lot of buzz. 2 of the biggest names of poker history colliding. I see Phil Hellmuth talking about his upcoming Nike commercial. He's up there.
Who is this guy?
This guy is, bro. Did you miss him coaching one of the Kardashians? Like, I don't know if you saw. Did you see that?
No.
Bro, there's like a famous photo. He's coaching the Kardashians. Like literally.
Mm-hmm.
He's there like, okay, I'm gonna coach, you know, the Kardashians today, and they had, you know, the Kardashians there. He was going through all his thing, and like, yeah, they were having a blast, man. This guy's a You know, we make fun of him. This guy's one of the greatest, bro. Daniel, you better step your game up, bro. Like this guy's coming up hard as the greatest ambassador of poker's ever seen. Like this guy is next. He's gonna be. He's chilling with Bill Clinton. He's coaching the Kardashians. He has commercials, eating burgers. He has 5 different meals. There it is. Boom, bro.
That's not a Kardashian, is
What are
it?
you talking about, bro?
I don't think that's a Kardashian.
Right there, right to his left. I mean, to his. Bro.
Nah, that's not a Kardashian.
Bro, I will bet you infinite money that's a Kardashian. Like, for sure, bro. What are you talking about? She was married to Lamar Odom. She was married to Lamar Odom.
Oh, Chloe?
Yeah.
She looks very different now.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's stepped her game up, bro. What do you mean? Like, she's years in the game. Like, she lost some weight. She's making more money. She's getting coached by Phil Hellmuth.
Okay.
She's trying to play some 25Ks. She's trying to get in you know, she's trying to play against Rick Solomon.
Sure. Aren't we all?
Bro, all I'm saying is that this man is making moves. He literally was on a podcast and said he's on the road to being a billionaire. Billionaire.
That is wild.
He has all billionaire friends.
He just played 50, 100 poker after dark and sat there with $1,500 for like 3/4 of the show.
How about the time that he asked to sell half his action on high stakes poker? You're on the road to being a
How's he on the road to being a billionaire and being that nitty?
Bro, maybe that's the road to being a billionaire. I don't know what's going on, but like this man is doing something right. He's in all the freaking good spots. He's in all the good spots. He's talking about all like sometimes I listen to the All In podcast with Chamath, and they're like, yeah, we just, you know, threw Phil Hellmuth the bone, and he's in there too with us, and like he's in the funding round, and I'm like,
got his beak wet. I'm
like, yo, yeah, he got his beak wet. It's like, how is Phil Hellmuth in all these good spots, man? Coaching Kardashians, he's in all the funding rounds. He's in Series A. He's not even in like Series B and C and D or E. He's in Series A. Like he's just like in, right?
Yeah.
He got like 5 different sponsorships at Aria restaurants. He's just like, whatever he eats during high stake duel, it's comp and probably getting food. He got Sour Patch Kids with his name on it. This guy's next, he's gonna have Wheaties box. Like, what's going on? Where,
honestly, God bless him. He's doing it right.
Dude, you gotta talk to Tom, man. You gotta talk to Tom. Like, tell Tom, like, listen, I need the Hellmuth deal. Like I need the Hellmuth service because where's your Wheaties, boy? Where's yours? What's up? Like you gotta get something. You got it right here, like a little Sour Patch or something. Like it's cool, man. I won't say you sold out. I'll be like, yo,
we got
bitch.
a lot of work to do. That's all. We got a lot of work to do.
Be like, yo, Berkey, get your bag, bro. You got the bag. Get the bag. You know what get the bag means? It means get your money. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so. I am expecting a nice show, and yeah, man, I'm happy about it. I'm hyped about it, and let's see what they bring, man. I'm gonna watch.
Are you betting?
It's like, how do I bet against the guy that's just like everything's going right for him in the world?
I wouldn't bet against him. I love Daniel. I consider Daniel a friend, and I wouldn't bet Daniel if you gave me half the money back.
I need Daniel to fucking shove. If he has Queen 10 suited on the button with 10 big blinds, I need Daniel to shove. I don't need no.
You should have heard him at Poker After Dark. Just like he's so confident that Phil can't win, and he's so certain that he just got unlucky in the last match. But like I've never been more sure that like Daniel doesn't have a shot. It's just like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to watch it. I think that I think all the viewers are excited to watch this again. It has to be, if I don't know the Poker Go numbers, but this has to be one of the most watched pieces of content they have, just based on the 2 players that they have going on. So, with all that said, I'm really hyped about everything poker right now, man. It's just a really good time to be a professional poker player. It's a really good time to like play poker for fun. It's just like it's really it's a really blossoming time. You know,
Crypto, baby, crypto.
It is amazing.
Time to get your feet wet.
It is time to get your beak wet. You know, be careful out there. Don't use crazy leverage. You know, just relax, okay? Like, don't put money into, you know, stuff you don't know. Just be careful out there. Dogecoin is not what you think it might be. This isn't financial advice. This is all entertainment purposes. But Dogecoin is a meme coin. Like, what are you doing right now? This is how much money we have. Like what's going on, man? Like,
Mark Cuban is pumping Doge.
Yeah, he's selling out stadiums with Dogecoin. He's there like, yeah, man, we got a bunch of Dogecoin now. I mean, everybody's paying with Dogecoin. It's like, so you guys are just like investing in Dogecoin, waiting for it to pump, and then just like buying season tickets. It's like,
yes,
move. Yeah, Mark, I don't know what's going on, man. Listen, I'm excited about it. I'm ready to freaking fire off. I don't know, man. I might just take, you know, a small 6 figures and just be like, lever this up all the way and hope Bitcoin goes to 100K and I'm never looking back. Cheers, everyone. I hope you all have a blessed evening and we're out of here.